Hey guys, welcome to Cosmic Magic. Today we're going to dive into the full moon energy happening on December 18th at 27 degrees of Gemini. So the moon is in Gemini, of course, opposing the sun in Sagittarius. That's what makes a full moon, when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. So a full moon in general is going to speak to some kind of ending or culmination. In this particular instance, it very much feels like a culmination point. And to speak to that same idea and concept, both the sun and the moon are at 27 degrees, like I mentioned, at the tail ends of both of their signs. And that again reiterates that idea of a culmination point. And if you remember in my last video, when I talked about the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, I spoke to it being an ending of our a year and a half cycle of eclipses on that Gemini Sagittarius axis. And now with this full moon in Gemini, it really is that ending, that culmination of this energy where it's being highlighted and fully formed. What we've been working on for the past year and a half can now really be seen in its full light, right? And we can now take this idea, this concept, and move forward with it. So we're definitely speaking to new ideas and concepts, new ways of thinking and being, with this moon being in Gemini. And of course, Sagittarius is all about higher wisdom, higher vision. And so they are definitely in alignment with each other. What we've been working on, and even in the beginning of the month, was starting to fully form. We're starting to fully understand it. Now we should be here at the middle of the month, have a better understanding of the whole concept, right? But I also did mention in a previous video that there are some other key points going on this month, quite a few actually, that can also affect it. So we can just say that from anywhere from that solar eclipse to the end of the month, we can get these key downloads, key realizations, aha moments where we finally put everything together, so that we can move forward in creating a new life, essentially, based on these new concepts and ideas that have come to us over the past year and a half. So there are no other aspects to the sun and the moon as far as conjunctions go, which is surprising to me because we've been having conjunctions since I can remember with either the sun or the moon. But there are no planets conjunct. But there is a sweet aspect to the sun and the moon from Jupiter. And Jupiter is in the tail end of Aquarius. So again, another reiteration of that ending, that culmination, what we've been learning and growing, we can now move forward with. And Jupiter is known to give blessings and rewards as it leaves a sign. So again, another, point to us, whatever we've been going through, whatever we've been learning, experiencing, growing, changing over the past year and a half in this axis, on this Gemini Sagittarius axis, in these in these eclipses, we have now come to a point where we can do something about it, really. Jupiter's going to move into Pisces, its home sign. Again, more optimism and hope for the future, and transforming our future for the better. So that is one aspect to the sun and the moon. We also have Neptune square the sun and the moon. So a square is not usually the best thing, but Neptune can cause confusion. But Neptune has been retrograde for quite some time, is now recently direct. So I look at this at a little more positive. We still might have some confusion or indecision. I think because what we've been working on has been so out of the norm, out of the box, that we still might not fully believe it or understand it. But are being asked to move forward with it anyway, and that can cause some doubts or fears. However, with Neptune being direct, I really do think it's adding to that. It's adding an extra layer of hope for the future, as well as creativity, you know, finding creative ways to move forward and continuing to think outside of the box. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but Sagittarius is a very hopeful energy. So is Jupiter, since Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius, a very hopeful, optimistic, positive viewpoint for our future. So those are really the only aspects that are being made to the sun and moon. Although there are a couple other key things going on. There is still that Saturn-Uranus conjunction. Right now, it's not an exact conjunction. That will happen later on in the month, 24th, 25th of December. And that's what I was mentioning about kind of those overarching themes going on, where we might be processing something from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. Like I said, this Saturn-Uranus conjunction is happening at the end of the month. So we could be putting the pieces together all month long, essentially. This is the third and final square that will happen, that we've experienced all year long. So again, another culmination point, something that we've been working on resolving, fixing, adjusting, changing, so that we can feel happier and more at peace and more in harmony with ourselves. So that is another aspect going on. Uranus and Mercury are also aspecting each other. They are sextiling each other, and they are both in earth signs. So Uranus being in Taurus, of course, and Mercury being in Capricorn. So that speaks to Mercury, of course, our thoughts and ideas, and Uranus transforming, sudden transformation, innovation, again, more ideas, but they're both in earth signs. So again, that's speaking to me about shifting from just working through these ideas and concepts in our mind and actually making them tangible and physical and real. That is the next step, right? So we've fully formed this idea, and now we're going to take it into the future. And like I said, we still might not understand how that's going to happen, but we're being asked to take those steps now. We really are. And this being the last full moon, new moon in the year of 2021, it really is, again, speaking to a culmination so that we can start fresh in the new year in 2022 with the new moon in Capricorn, an earth sign, and really putting down roots, really building a foundation. And what else do we have going on here? I think that is more or less it. Just making sure that I talked about all the aspects that I'm seeing here. Yeah, for the most part, I think those are the big ones at least. And I'm just going to talk about the crystals that I think we could work with at this time, at the time of the full moon, that may help us kind of cope with the energy or amplify the energy, strengthen the energy. You can find these crystals. I will leave them in the box below, the list of crystals that you can reference. You can also find them on my Instagram page. I always post a new and full moon crystal grid so that you can reference it to either create your own grid or just meditate on the grid that I provide at the time of the full moon, and also just see the interpretations of the crystals there as well. I'll leave my Instagram below, but it's Conscious Creation CO. Okay, so the first crystal is honey calcite. So that's going to help us with kind of standing in our power. It connects to Sagittarius, in my opinion, that solar plexus energy, that fire energy, right? Being confident in your path, in the path ahead, and really being hopeful and positive and purposeful, really. Okay. Also, we have Amazonite, which is going to help us with clarity. It's going to help us with all of those ideas, right? Keeping us focused as well. Clarity, focus, and also hopeful for the future and staying focused on our path, keeping things clear in our minds. And if we do veer off path, this can help as well. Okay, and we have Smoky Quartz. And that's going to help us stay grounded and optimistic as well. It will clear out any negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. If we get distracted or, are still uncertain with things and we're confused, Smoky Quartz can definitely help ground us, keep us centered, and allow us to build and create that future that we're looking for. Pyrite is going to help us also keep optimistic and fuel us with the, again, it's another solar plexus, connects to the solar plexus energy, and help us stay motivated and confident in ourselves and our abilities to transform our lives. It's not an easy feat to make the changes that are kind of being asked of us right now. And Pyrite can give us that confidence, that push, that power that's needed. And we have clear quartz, which is also going to provide that clarity and that purification and that positive outlook that we need. And it's also going to help us kind of stay tapped into our higher selves so that we can keep receiving the messages and downloads we need to keep moving forward, connect us to spirit, but also keep us clear so that we can remain grounded and manifest what we're being asked to manifest. Okay, and then the last one I have is Angel Aura, which I apologize, I'll have a teeny tiny piece. Not sure if you're even going to be able to see it or not. There it is. It's hard to tell, but it has like an iridescence to it. So essentially, Angel Aura is clear quartz with a platinum coating, which creates that iridescent look. And so some people, don't consider that a real crystal, but it is obviously still a real crystal. It's clear quartz, but then the titanium coating, to me, titanium still has its own meanings and symbolism behind it. And again, I had touched on it a little bit with the clear quartz. It's going to connect you to spirit. It's going to connect you to your higher self, to your higher wisdom, so that you can keep moving forward with confidence and knowing that you're standing in your authenticity and in your power and connecting to your purpose. So those are the crystals that I have. The only other thing I'll do is go ahead and pull a card just to round out this interpretation, see if anything else wants to come up or if we want to, or something wants to be reiterated. All right. Judgment. So that is definitely a rebirth. We're releasing an old way of being, an old way of thinking, an old concept, idea, like I said, an old way of being that just isn't working for us anymore, hasn't been working for us. It hasn't been working in the past year and a half, but we've been working on creating something new. Nothing happens overnight. We've been building and working towards this. And this is the moment. This is the shift. This is the time where we need to step out of our old self and into a new self. We have to be diligent and determined, because, if with any habit, if you don't, if you're not consistent with it, it's easy to fall back into. But we're being asked to birth something new. We're being asked to up level, and we're being asked to up level not only for ourselves, but for Mother Earth, for the collective. We really are shifting as a collective. And that's kind of the key takeaway, in my opinion, what we've been working on. Some of us are further along than others, and there's nothing wrong with that. But these are the first steps towards making significant change in the world. And I mean, judgment speaks to that. This is no small step. This is a giant leap forward. It is transformation at its core. So I think I'll just leave it at that, and I will see you guys in the beginning of January when we explore the new moon in Capricorn. Bye-bye.